Welcome to Mountain Lion. Today we're talking about a recent Nollywood movie by the title SUKY. As usual, apart from the general synopsis, we promise not to give you spoilers here. Just one or two thoughts on the movie. We are going to break down what worked, what didn't, and whether I think you should add this movie to your watch list. And of course, before we start about what worked or what didn't work, I want to just tell you a general background about this movie. Coming from the makers of Breath of Life, NEMSIA Studio, SUKY is a brand new action-themed flick that started streaming on March 7 on Prime Video. Directed by CARDOSO and produced by BAMIDELE, ADELUSI, SUKY is an electrifying blend of action, emotion, and cultural depth, drawing audience into the world of underground Dambe boxing. The film stars impressive cast, including James DAMILARE, that's the guy that played SUKY, Toby Bakre, the father, OLAROTIMI, FAKUNLE, the prison warder, FEMI ADEBAYO, BIMBO, ADEMOYE, IBRAHIM, YEKINI, that's Itele, and Buma Akpore, among others. So the storyline is about a guy by the name SUKY who, after his father's brutal murder by a notorious gang leader, he was at a point falsely accused of murders. He was thrown into one of Nigeria's worst prisons, where the weak is eaten by the strong and only the rule of the jungle prevails. The movie is 1 hour and 49 minutes and is of the action genre, and the original language in the movie is Yoruba. Now, what worked? One of the things that worked so well for me is the fight choreography. You don't have a lot of movies with fight scenes. They had 10 fight scenes in SUKY. The fight choreography worked for me, and you know, action movies are not easy to do, especially in Nollywood, where you are not so sure whether you get your investment back and all that. The fight choreographies were actually delicious, and all the fight scenes actually worked. And of course, you could feel that as if every punch landed, not to mention the fact that, you know, you could hear all the sound from the body falling down, the punch touching the skin. Lovely, lovely. And of course, the setting of the prison scene. So this is one aspect that really worked for me, because the fact is that in Nollywood, we don't have a lot of prison movies because it is not easy to shoot a movie that is about a prison setting, because you have to get a setting that looks like a prison, you have to design it, you have to dress it. It's so much work. That's why, apart from Gold Statue and I think another movie like that, I can't remember any other Nigerian movie. All the Nigerian movies that we have, I don't think they're up to 5, and if they're up to 5, they cannot be more than 5, because it's a big budget movie to shoot prison scene. It's a big budget endeavor. So, and of course, another thing that worked in this movie is actually good camera work, or what you call cinematography. So all kinds of shots. I saw at a point, I saw frame within a frame. At a point, I saw overhead shot, drone shots, and you know, the way the camera panned, you know, at the point when SUKY was training in that elevated structure, that is very creative. Good editing too. That one worked for me because they use a lot of slow-mo at key times, and especially during the action scenes, you know, they show slow-mo to tell us body falling slowly. That is very creative. It worked for me. Another thing that worked for me were actually good sceneries. Like when SUKY was, you know, going to that point, you know, after he was accused of, when he was going to Ajay prison. I promise not to give you spoilers, so I just leave it at that. You know, there was a time when, you know, the vehicle that was carrying him and the others passed through this narrow road, and you know, the way the green, you know, contrasted with the tiles. It was a very beautiful scene. I'm saying this because I didn't only watch the movie once, I watched it like, you know, more than once, so that I can give you a very objective and detailed review. And of course, getting a crowd to witness a fight and having to take their reaction shot is so much work. CARDOSO proved himself. CARDOSO had had nominations in time past, you know, for best cinematography. I think last AMBC, CARDOSO was nominated as one of the best cinematographers too. So good job. The production design crew and the location managers deserve so much accolades, especially for that prison setting, like I said. And of course, I told you the challenges with having this kind of storyline. In fact, most directors, most producers would have dropped this story immediately they read it, because of the technicalities involved, you know, the finances involved, and you know, the fact that you need not just you need a lot of people to be able to achieve what you want to do. I love the sky in front of it. I like, you know, when people just think outside of the box, and I think that sky is so creative and looks so real. In my own eyes, it looks so real, and you know, that's very creative coming from the costume team. I just feel that some things did not work for me, maybe about 3 things. And of course, the first question was how the sledgehammer recognized the grown-up SUKY. So if you've watched the movie, you understand this point, but if you've not watched watch the movie, you will not understand it, because Lejama played a very important role, an unforgettable role in Suki's life. So how did he recognize Suki when Suki was all grown up? Is that the way you recognize people? So another problem I have with the plot and the storyline is that when people get into prison, especially people with that kind of crime, they are going to have a court date. There are a lot of processes. They get visited by lawyers at a point in time. Even if they cannot afford the lawyer, if it is Lagos State, they have a lawyer from Office of the Public Defender that will take their case. You know, nothing was said of Suki's court appointment. Nothing was said of his court date. Nothing was said. It was as if it was just there. No court appearance, no court schedule. So that one I had an issue with. They should have told us, you know, a bit about that. Another issue I have with the movie was the Yoruba that the actor spoke was not fluent. Like Boma Akpore, I love Boma Akpore. He's a very, very fantastic actor, handsome guy. But he's not fluent with the Yoruba language, you know. And some people too, their delivery of the Yoruba language, it wasn't fluent. So I felt that the movie could have done well being an English movie with a mix of pidgin. That's just me. I respect Bibi Shashore and I respect CARDOSO and everybody in the team. And I know they must have had their reasons, but I still feel, hey, we could have done this movie with English. You know, that's just me thinking out loud. Of course, talking about the theme of the movie, that one worked for me. The fact that we need prison reforms in the country. Prisons are so congested, and it's not just that our prisons are congested, it's the fact that 80% of the prison members, if not 70%, they are waiting trial members. They are people that, you know, they are suspected, and yet they've been in prison for longer, so much that some of them, even if they were sentenced, they've spent so much time in prison that their sentences would have warranted. For instance, somebody that was arrested for stealing, and yet this person has spent 5 years in prison, you know, without his case being resolved. And that's why when you go to our prisons, the guys that wear blue most times are the prisoners, and the ones that wear muftis are the awaiting trial members, the ones that they call ATM. So we need prison reforms in this country. And you know, for me, this is a subject that is very dear to my heart, because I've had to do with churches and NGOs that goes to prison, and that's why we need to institutionalize community service, you know. And Lagos State government is doing a lot in that. In fact, Lagos State government is one of those states that has a community service office under the Ministry of Justice, and I think there's a fantastic woman there, Mr. Bodude, and they are saying that not everybody that has committed an offense should go to prison. In the days of Governor Fashola, when people are arrested for flouting that was the time when we used to have Saturdays that for 4 hours you must not move anywhere on those, was it 3rd Saturday or 4th Saturday? And when people are arrested on those days, they are taken to prison. That is extreme. You know, looking at it right now, they could have been given community service, and that is those are the kind of reforms that I believe we need in our prison system. And of course, one of those themes too was actually about the racketeering that are in the prison systems. Like, you know, it is better off right now, but back then when I was with this NGO, I know that if you have money, you get to be allocated in nice conducive places. You know, you pay a particular amount on yearly basis and you get a very cozy place. You don't get to share the general prison like everybody, you know. And the same thing happened to Suki after it was discovered that he has so much potential. They elevated him from, you know, the general prisons to very, very cozy place, which I believe that racketeering is something that should stop in our prison system. Of course, I love the fact that there was attention to details in the movie, and of course you expect that from Bibi Shashore, that gave us Breath of Life. There was so much attention to details. You know, there was a time when Suki was training outside the prison walls, and it showed that the policeman was around. Not only his coach was there, a policeman was also around the place. There was also the use of practicals. I've told you that I love the production design team, the way they dressed their scenes, especially the way they dress the prison scenes. That is work. At times, the production design team, they might spend 7 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours just trying to design a scene before the actors will now come. So when I saw that that design of the inner rooms of the prison, when I saw the design of the church when Femi ADEBAYO was speaking with prison warden, I felt so impressed, especially with those practicals making the places so beautiful. Standout performance for me has to be, of course, the prison warden, and that's talking about Olarotimi. He really gave a good account of himself and told us he's ready to prove that his performance in Gang of Lagos as Kazim was not a flash in the pan. FAKUNLE, this guy is someone that will go far in the industry too, especially with his authentic acting. So there was a bit of unneeded scenes too that didn't work for me too. Unneeded scenes like when the prison warden was actually going to the church to go and meet Femi ADEBAYO for the first time. That scene wasn't needed. There was another scene, you know, when they were having a party in the prison. That scene did not tell any story. That scene could well have not been shot, and yet the story would have still been fine. And of course, so a bit of suspicious subtitling too, like when the prison warden said that if it happens twice, it is Afojudi, and you know, the subtitle put Afojudi as coincidence, whereas Afojudi in Yoruba language is daring, too much bravery, overconfidence. That's what Afojudi is. And you know, other aspect was good. Even the subtitle was good too, apart from just 1 or 2 mistakes like that. It's a movie you should add to your watch list. I will give it 7/10. Anything from CARDOSO is something you should watch. So I will give this movie 7/10, and please please go and watch it. It's on Prime Video. If you've watched it, please come back here and tell me what you will score the movie on the scale of 1 to 10, and tell me where you agree and disagree with my comments. Please try to like and subscribe to this channel too. We love you. Keep watching Nollywood, because when you watch Nollywood, you're supporting the economy. From all of us at Mountain Lion, it's hasta la vista from now.
Oh yeah!